Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Senators Baisley, Bridges, Buckner,
Excused.
Coleman, Cutter,
Excused.
Danielson, Exum, Fields, Gardner, Janal,
Excused.
Gonzalez, Hanson, Henriksen, Jaquez Lewis, Kirkmeyer, Kolker, Liston, Lundin, Marchman, Moreno, Mullica, Pelton B, Pelton R, Priola, Rich, Roberts, Rodriguez, Simpson, Smallwood, Sullivan, Van Winkle, Will, Winter,
Excused.
Zenzinger, Zenzinger, Did we call anybody? Mr. President.
Here.
Oh, wait. Winter. Mr. President.
Here. The morning roll call is 32 present, 0 absent, 3 excused. We do have a quorum. Will the good senator from Jefferson County, who isn't here actually, will the other senator from Jefferson County please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Members, if you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate Journal of Tuesday, January 31st, 2023 be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senate Services.
February 1st, 2023, correctly printed Senate Bills 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, Senate Joint Resolution 5, correctly engrossed. Senate Bills 10, 1951, correctly enrolled. Senate Memorial 1.
Committee reports.
January 31st, 2023, Committee on Finance. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 49 be amended as follows. An S, amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. January 31st, 2023, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 66 be referred favorably to the Committee on Finance. January 31st, 2023, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 46 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. January 31st, 2023, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 17 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation.
Third reading of bills. Consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the title to the one bill on the consent calendar?
Senate Bill 19, Senators Kolker and Simpson, Representative Basenaker, concerning consumer protection for Coloradans purchasing vehicles from out-of-state online retailers.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 19.
Is there any discussion? Senator Van Winkle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be a no vote on the one bill on the consent calendar.
Van Winkle will be listed as a no on Senate Bill 19. Anything else? Seeing no further.
We're on discussion.
technically.
Yeah, but you asked for no vote.
Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I acknowledge that Senate Bill 19 is on the consent calendar. You requested discussion, so I have come down to the well now to discuss very briefly the fact that Senate Bill 19 is on the consent calendar. After I conclude with this discussion, we would move on, I suspect, in a vote, yes or no on the bill, or any no votes that would choose to be recorded might request that they be recorded as a no vote following the discussion. Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity to discuss Senate Bill 19.
Any other enlightening discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of the one bill on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Senator Van Winkle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 19.
I saw that coming from a mile away. Senator Van Winkle will be listed as a no on Senate Bill 19. With a vote of 31 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 19 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Henriksen, Mr. Majority Leader, Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Winter, Marchman, Jaquez Lewis. We'll figure this out eventually. Danielson, Liston, Exum. Will the clerk please add Senator Cutter to the roll?
Yeah.
First time.
She's on the roll now.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Having voted on the prevailing side, I move for the immediate reconsideration of Senate Bill 19.
The motion is for the immediate reconsideration because the first time went really well. We want to do it all over again. On Senate Bill 19. No. All those in favor say aye for the immediate reconsideration. Great, one of you. Those opposed, no? The motion is adopted and reconsideration is granted.
Senate Bill 19, Senators Kolker and Simpson, Representative Bazenaker, concerning consumer protection for Coloradans purchasing vehicles from out-of-state online retailers.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I once again move the one bill on the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 19.
Is there any discussion? Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the time at which we would discuss a bill that was once on the consent calendar, is now on third reading, having been removed from the consent calendar for reconsideration. Immediately following this insightful discussion about this incredibly important piece of policy, we would take a vote. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to offer my perspective on Senate Bill 19.
Senator Baisley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, just have a real quick thought on this. I'll be an aye vote on this bill, but I have a caution that when we have established industries that then start to protect how things have always been done, the traditional things that have always been done, then we stifle innovation. And so if we think about the innovation that we've had from things like iPhones, and how about Uber? So when Uber and Lyft and so on came around, and the taxi drivers were talking to me quite a bit and very reasonably saying, very justifiably saying, look at all these rules that have built up over time that we have to comply with, and now this new group comes in and they don't. Well, I think it's really been to the benefit of how we get through life that we have Uber, Lyft, and others. But so I have a concern about this bill, but I think we still do need protections for the consumer. But I have had conversations at length, including with the Department of Revenue, giving their assurance that they will not punish the consumer when they are buying a car from a non-compliant out-of-state company. So I'm feeling comfortable enough to make this an aye vote, but I have some caution I just want to put on the record. Thank you, Mr. President.
Terrific. That was, I'm glad we did that again, because it's going much smoother this time. Is there any further discussion? So, I don't see any discussion. Do you? Do you all see anything? Just to, it is obviously fine to discuss something on consent, but I want to, the minority leader mentioned this was taken off consent. It is still technically on consent calendar. There was not a motion to take it off. Please
Your
discuss at length,
Excellency,
Senator
Mr.
Gardner.
President. Just briefly, my daughter had an experience with one of these online sales, and it was a good experience, I want to say, a good experience in the sense of the sale of the vehicle. But then there were all these glitches in the titling and the licensing, and in fact, there have been reports in the Wall Street Journal that this model of sales has with it a set of issues that arise for consumers around the titling and licensing and getting the paper right. I mean, the title was clear. It was just getting the paper, and there really was limited recourse unless, of course, you're a simple country lawyer like my daughter, and then you can solve it, but you shouldn't have to do that. So I'm an aye vote for that reason. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Any further discussion? Well, I don't see any. So seeing none, the motion is the passage of the bill on third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 19. Are there any no votes? Senator Van Winkle.
Third time. Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 19.
Senator Van Winkle will be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 19. With a vote of 32 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 19 is passed. If you raised your hand the last time around, you don't need to do it again. Co-sponsors. Cutter. Members, I just want to thank everyone. This was actually all just a role play. I asked everyone to make all these mistakes to be a lesson so we could all learn. So thank you, Senator Van Winkle. Thank you, Senator Cutter. It was very helpful as we figure out what to do here. Third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 51?
Senate Bill 51, Senators Hinrichsen and Sullivan, Representative Ortiz, concerning preparation of a skilled workforce for the changing nature of work.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 51 for final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 51. Are there any no votes? Senators Kirkmeyer, Smallwood, Mr. Minority Leader, Gardner, Rich, Pelton B, Pelton R, Simpson, Will, Baisley, Van Winkle, Liston. With a vote of 21 ayes, 12 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 51 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Bridges, Rodriguez, Kolker, Marchman, Jaquez Lewis, Fields, Cutter, Winter, Priola, nope, not Priola, Danielson, Coleman, Exum, Gonzalez, Hanson. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 10?
Senate Bill 10, Senators Bridges and Simpson, Representative McLaughlin, concerning the Water Resources and Agricultural Review Committee.
I think you might be.
The shorter one, Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. What a first day. We're shaking off the rust. I move Senate Bill 10 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Seeing none, the motion is the
booster now.
passage of Senate Bill 10. Are there any no votes?
It's good.
With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 10 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Roberts, Pelton B, Kirkmeyer, Pelton R, Gardner, Liston, Mr. Minority Leader, Will, Hanson, Exum, Coleman, Mullica, Rodriguez, Kolker, Marchman, Fields, Henriksen, Sullivan, Jaquez Lewis, Priola, Winter, Cutter. Please add the president. General orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. And Senator Henriksen will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of the bill on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
Senate Bill 48, Senators Baisley and Bridges, Representatives Amabile and Hamrick, concerning extending the length of an employment contract for a non-tenure track employment.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the passage of the one bill on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 48.
Is there any discussion of the bill on the consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the bill on the general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 48 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 48 passed on second reading and order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Announcements. Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow morning, Thursday, starting at 7:45 a.m. in room 109 here in the Capitol, there is an Oil and Gas 101 presentation. It will get into the basics of oil and gas production, the regulations in place to protect public health, safety, welfare, and wildlife, what's in store for new regulations in 2023. A light breakfast at 7:45 tomorrow, room 109. Consider this. Clean natural gas has done more to bend the curve of greenhouse gases around the planet than anything we've done in the arena of renewables. Renewables, as we move forward, will play a larger and larger role. But if you really want to talk honestly about what we've done to bend the curve of greenhouse gas down around the globe, not just over the bubble of Colorado, but around the globe, clean natural gas has been the leading element in bending that curve down. Oil and Gas 101 tomorrow morning in room 109, 7:45 a.m. Please come and join.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, on Joint Judiciary, we will be meeting this afternoon at 1:30, where we will be continuing in our SMART Act hearings. We're still meeting. We'll be hearing from the Office of State Auditor, the Judicial Branch, Commission on Judicial Discipline, and the Behavioral Health Administration. Look forward to seeing y'all today at 1:30 and 271.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today on the Joint Budget Committee is Big Block of Cheese Day. What is that? Well, on February 22nd, 1837, President Jackson had a 1,400-pound block of cheese hauled into the main foyer of the White House for an open house with thousands of citizens and his staff while they discussed the issues of the day and carved off slabs of cheddar. Anyone who would like to come and publicly testify to the JBC, today is your day. Come on down for Big Block of Cheese Day. And, Mr. President, may I have a moment of personal privilege?
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have another president with us today, the future President of the United States and President of the MSU Denver student body, James Vargas, is shadowing me today. I hope it's as exciting for him as it is for me. Welcome to the chamber.
Senator Will.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow morning, legislative coffee reception from Western Colorado University. The Board of Trustees of the Western Colorado University there in Gunnison, great Senate District 5 country. President Brad Baca will be there as well. So Thursday morning, tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9:30, and it's over at the old Supreme Court chambers. So please join us. Thank you.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. An announcement for the members of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee. We're going to be meeting upon adjournment We have one bill that will be rescheduled. That's Senate Bill 14, will not be heard today, but we do have 3 sunset reviews to consider.
Senator Fields.
Mr. President, I would like to request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, it's February the 1st, and February is a day that we celebrate Black history across our nation. And when we celebrate and recognize Black history, basically what that means is acknowledging many of the men and women who have paved the way really for us to have civil rights and human rights. There's so many accomplishments as it relates to the arts, business owners. The list is huge, and I believe that Black history is American history, so I would hope and encourage you to join me as we celebrate Black History Month in the state of Colorado. Thank you, members.
Senator Will.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have another announcement. So the Congressional Sportsmen's Council legislative reception is going to be at the Buckhorn Exchange. You've all had the flyer on your desk. And thus far, as of this morning, we've had 22 legislators RSVP. I would like to see 100 at that event. So, and that's on February 7th. If you haven't RSVP'd, please do so. It's going to be great. It's going to be elk, quail, duck, salmon, buffalo, Rocky Mountain oysters, alligator, calamari, you name it. So if you can't find something you don't like there, and it'll be at the Buckhorn Exchange. So please RSVP and see me or Dylan Roberts or Senator from Avon, and we'll get you the information, get you signed up. Thank you. The what?
Don't take the bait, Senator Will. Further announcements. Members, we did have quite a few birthdays before session started, so we're gonna do our duty this morning and sing to me and a few other senators. Senator Zenzinger, Pelton B., Danielson, Rich, Simpson, and myself have had birthdays in November, December, and January, and we need to celebrate them. So would the Senate choir please assemble so you can sing to me/us?
A very merry on birthday to you.
Sure. Yeah, the birthday boys and girls are welcome to come up to the president's dais. You can turn around.
You want me to bring the booster up?
I won.
You gotta go down there.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. President, he's gotta be down here. We have to sing to him.
You guys gotta come
Yep.
down. Hey.
There we go. Mr. President.
All of them. Pelton, Simpson, Rich. Can you sing? Come stand in the middle.
Are you alto or?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Senator. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Further announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Seeing no further announcements, I move that the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 2nd.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will adjourn until 9 a.m. Thursday, February 2nd, 2023.